Our investors are a little bit on the angy side. I don't know whether they've actually been able to eat anything this morning, but they've caused like maybe 2 or 3 riots since the last time that we talked. And yeah, we gotta stop that. We need them to spend the money. We don't want them to like go burn buildings down. That costs us money. Let's go. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Anno 1800, the Beginner's Guide series. Hope you all are doing well today. Just want to start off by saying if you guys haven't joined the Discord quite yet, and if you're new here, by all means, please do so. Link is in the description along with every single video, along on the main channel page. There's also an Instagram too. Feel free to check both of them out. We'll be quite penetrated by your kindness. I'm always penetrated by your kindness. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Blame Archie for putting that into my crazy digital head. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we need to stop these investors from having unhappy faces. And a part of that is because of propaganda. You're going to need it, but on the flip side, we can also provide a couple of additional luxury resources to them, and they would be quite happy to have them. Problem is, you're going to have your supply chains actually ready to manage this. So let's start off with two relatively simple things that we can try to work on. At this point in the game, I mention it as simple. And I just also want to do a little bit of a a minor segue over. I did do a DLC tier list and cosmetic pack tier list along the same parameters of the guide series. So if you guys would like to check that out, I will put the actual clickable link at the end of the video for you guys to take a look-see. Very much appreciate it, and let me know what you guys think. I am very, very upset that console players, and this is something I learned recently, do not actually have access to any of the major DLCs and just have the cosmetic packs. That is a lot of content that you guys do not have. Not sure why, and I am very, very sorry. So, Anne, you're giving us a smuggling quest? Okay, sure, why not? I also wanted to show you guys this because I know the pirates and all that stuff are definitely a topic in which a lot of people trying to stretch their heads and they're like, well, how the heck do you actually become friendly with these guys? And it's quite simple. That's the wrong button. You go over here to diplomacy, and see we're actually trading with Anne. We're not trading with the other two NPCs over here because Princess Ching doesn't like me, and Benta is just Benta, and Willie's just Willie. But let's take Jean, like, right now. He's at 50 reputation with us, and we're currently in a state of ceasefire. We go ahead and click on him, and this is only through forming non-aggression pacts with him, okay? You're going to slowly see the reputation rise. Along with that, you can always go here to actions and offer them a gift. You give them money, they're almost always going to accept it and probably, you know, get a little bit of reputation out of it. Flatter can go either way. Sometimes they're just kind of like, okay, whatever. You're trying to just flatter me. Get out of here. I don't like you. But sometimes they'll like it. And obviously you're not going to do insult. But if you go over here and you go to treaties, if you go over here, at 50 relatively with reputation, you can actually request a peace treaty with him. And we're going to go ahead and do that. He's going to ask for some money, but the money is dismal for you right now. Go ahead and accept it. So now he's at 73, actually higher than Anne. So go again to the treaties and request trade rights with him. Another little payment. Boom. Right in there. Easy peasy how to deal with pirates. Non-aggressions. Form a peace treaty with them. And then form trade rights. And Princess Ching does not like that. Well, you know what? Deal with it. You don't want to trade with me, but they do. And you, I don't even know what the heck your problem is. Alright. So, this smuggling quest, what the heck do we even need to do with that? Because I'm actually kind of interested in what she wants. Ah, yes. Well, we'll bring our flagship over here, and while we're doing that, we're going to head over to our industrial island. And I want to talk about two particular goods that you guys can start providing to your citizens. One of them being penny farthings. Penny farthings are on the simpler side of things. However, what I will caution you is that they do really tend to go through them very fast. And what I mean very fast, if we go over here to the productions, right? And we go over here to Roma and we take a look-see as how many of the penny farthings that we want to go through, it's 6. Okay, so 6 tons per minute. There is a way to cut down on this, and if it's very simple, maybe I can try to click a engineer building from here. No, I think actually I have to get closer. So if you go over here to the happiness needs of engineers, you're going to notice that they're also going to want penny farthings. But in the grand scheme of things, our engineers are content. Our investors are not. Let's also see how much they're going to pay for this. So 87 for the penny farthings as opposed to 35 for the penny farthings. So if we want to kind of balance the budget, and seeing as how we're not making a lot of money right now, let's just go ahead and pause this for the engineers. We don't want to provide it to them. Let's go ahead again and check to see how much that's going to impact. So it's going to be down by 2. That is not bad, okay? You know, we can play with this. It's not too bad. The other thing I want to work on today is also gramophones. Gramophones are relatively simple to produce. The only thing with them is that you're going to need brass, and you're going to have to introduce wood veneers again into your game, because remember, we cut them out when it came to the cigar chain. And you can produce wood veneers over here in the old world, so don't worry about that. Jewelry, there are ways to get around jewelry. I really wouldn't focus too much on this right now, if at all, because you can just literally change the inputs for this and makes it so much easier. And then for pocket watches, instead of the gold, you can use brass. So don't even worry about this either. If you really want to just easily, and you have a bunch of money and you don't know what to do with it, if you want to get some of the pocket watches, you can just go over here to Archie, and you can purchase some for 8.3k a piece. Just don't ever consider the gramophones, because 27,506 for one gramophone is ridiculous, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to bring our flagship over to here. And going back over to our industrial island, we are going to want to focus with the penny farthings first. And we're going to need electricity for this so it works a little bit better. And we're going to need engineers. The total chain is relatively simple, so we're going to need some steel and we're going to need some caoutchouc for this. And we have two things that are happening. So we have a ship going to and from the New World, bringing in caoutchouc. Alternatively, that is the base game way of doing it. Alternatively, if you do have the docklands, you can always import it. And this is fine. As you can see, our advanced weapons have actually reached an exporter level uncommon, so this actually helps out with our ratios a little bit, right? So let's see where we can go ahead and put this building. And it's actually on the smaller end of things, but there's a nifty little way on making this look kind of cool. Let me show you. So you see the road in the middle? Let me see if I can fits this perfectly. There you go. So the road actually extends to the other building. And it's kind of nice. They're mirroring in a way. It's really cool. So let's just go ahead and build these two, right? And we need to make sure that we have a road network to it, because this thing is not going to work without electricity. And they're going to be producing these penny farthings very quickly. 14 seconds is nutty, right? And if we go over down here, we'll notice that 2 of these factories working are actually going to be producing 8 penny farthings for us. So if you want to give it to your engineers now, you can go ahead and do so, my friend. On the other end of the spectrum, while we let that work, are going to be the gramophones themselves. Now, gramophones are going to require brass, and I'm going to say it every single time like that, because I love Volo's voice actor from Baldur's Gate 3, and we're going to need the wood veneers. Now, the wood veneers comes from actual wood, okay, so the relatively simple chain. The only problem here being is that we need to have some engineers. If you look at our values, we don't have many of those, okay? And they're literally going in so many different directions. We have to make sure that they're actually working to the best of their ability for us. We have 2 of these steam motor factories currently working. And what we can consider doing is just turning off one of them for the time being, so we have a little bit more of an engineer workforce to play with until we really start focusing a lot on our main island, right? And now we have the workforce to actually get through with this. Now, there are 2 things that you can do. If you do have an industrial island set up similar to this, you can choose to optimize the wood veneers or not. It really depends on how many of the gramophone factories you're planning on making. Typically, I do not actually work a lot with gramophones. There are ways to make this easier for you. I believe one specialist named Johan will actually change the input of brass to that of just iron. And then you're just going to need iron and wood veneers in order to produce these. And that, in that situation, I would tell you, optimize the living hell out of this so you can literally export it anywhere you want. But right now, I don't think we really need to go heavy into this. So let's go ahead and build one wood veneer factory right over here. We'll put it right in the middle. We don't need to have a trade union attached to this, I don't think. It's going to work at 30 seconds because it needs electricity to function. And then the gramophone factory itself. Now, it's actually a pretty cool factory, I'm not going to lie. I really like the look of this building. And this is kind of a cool spot to put this one in. So I'm going to go ahead and plop it down over here and build it up. Look at that. It's really nice. I don't even know if this is the front end. This kind of looks like the front ends. There we go, because we have the Gramophones logo at the very top. So we're producing Gramophones, we're producing our penny farthings, and that is pretty good. Now let's see how fast these guys actually are with them. We're overproducing on the wood veneers, and that's pretty good, but we're only going to be getting 1 ton of the Gramophones per minute. That seems a little bit interesting. And that's just because it is literally a minute processing time for this. So if we want to go ahead and go over and above, right, we can build a second one. And I would recommend doing so because, quite frankly, it's not even a bad resource to stockpile. You can sell it later, my friend. So go ahead and build the second one up. Yeah, your maintenance costs are going to go up, but guess what? When you make them happier, that means you can use more propaganda, and that means more money, right? I also want to go back to the previous episode where we talked about shares. As you notice, we purchased one from her, from Benta, and she purchased it back. So we can go ahead and buy another one back. We can help cut out, a little bit of the deficit that we're currently in. If you get into trade wars with the NPCs, your economy better be 50 times better than theirs, because they are relentless on purchasing back their shares, especially for their capital islands. And she is closing in on us right now. She has, oh my god, look at all those canneries. Is Chef Michelle working for you? Clearly not. Going back over to here. So we're producing 2 gramophones per minute, and we're producing 8 of the penny farthings. Now, we have a free ship over here somewhere. Where are you? You're at Roma. Okay, great. What I want the Ardent Squib to do is I want to start bringing over some penny farthings and some of the gramophones towards Roma. So we're gonna start it off like this, okay? We're gonna give them some time to actually work. And I don't believe that we're going to actually have a whole bunch, so we don't need to completely fill out the ship. We can wait to see like if there's anything else that we could potentially give these people. And because we are overproducing on this, we can go ahead and accept that. One other thing that this ship can bring later on would probably be the pocket watches. Now let's go ahead and check with Eli's port really fast and see if he does have some specialists that we can definitely use for this. And just off of I've played with these guys so much, so I know off the top of my head, none of these guys are going to really work for us right now. This guy, not bad. Not bad at all. Bicycle factory. There we go. So the Draughts-woman, for example, would work well with the bicycle factory and the sewing machine factories. Productivity bonus by 30%. Later on in the game, this is going to be something that you're really going to want to focus on, because changing out the inputs, while at times are good, you always have to make sure that you do have enough of that workforce to rely on this particular specialist for the long term, right? Because she's going to be changing the workforce of them being engineers into workers. And that means they're going to be working faster, but that means is your population going to be able to take that over? Let's just do a quick look. So if we were to change that, we have 237 workers, but those bicycle factories right now are not optimized. So I don't really care to optimize them right now anyway. Not a bad specialist to get. Just putting that out there. Airship technician, no, not really. Charcoal kilns, this guy is not bad. Get some extra caoutchouc from time to time. I don't believe so. See, like, he's not bad. I mentioned before in my expert campaign way back that I didn't like the mineralogist for the simple fact that he reduces the productivity minus 15%, increases the workforce and the maintenance, but here's the interesting part. So, unlike the scenarios in Anno 1800 that have for example, with Pride and Peddlers, which you guys should check out because I put a lot of work into that particular series. I'm actually halfway to getting the gold on that one. Specific resources like clay are finite in that scenario, but they're infinite when it comes to the actual base game. And if you were to get this individual, right, 1 in every 3 tons of clay that you pull out pulls out 1 bauxite. Bauxite's only found in the New World. So if you're producing a little bit over here, that can help you. That can go a long way, right? So are you the ship that's bringing up this stuff? No. Did you actually arrive and you're going away with it? No. No. Ah, there we go. There's one. So we have 45 penny farthings going and 3 gramophones. So that's not a lot. So we're going to probably see one of their values go down. But we've already produced 2. So I think by the time that ship actually comes back, we'll have somewhere close to 10-ish gramophones. So once the ship actually arrives, we'll see how it changes these guys. And because our population has gone up, we also have more wings to play with. As you can see, our palace has expanded a little bit. And we want to always check this. So we have 22 wings to play with. And let's just go ahead and instead of blueprint mode, I want to build. Go here. I like the ones with the little banners on them. Little flags waving at the top. That's it. So nice. If we look at our total radius of the palace, we'll notice that it is in fact very large. It's almost taking up a decent chunk of the island. And if we go over here and look at the local department, we'll see that almost all the major trade unions so far are currently within the radius. We need to get to this one and we need to get to this one. So we're doing very, very well. Okay. And the more we get over there done, the better our life will be. So as you can see, the money is going up. Why is that? Because now the investors have these items that they want, and they're going to be a little bit happier. So they're getting the penny farthings, they're paying us a lot of money for those, and they're getting the gramophones. That will probably go down because we don't have a lot in here, but we can always see how much they're going to want with gramophones. It just still says at 0, so we're going to have to give it a hot minute to actually work over here. But with the penny farthings, it says 6, and we have enough in there, clearly, because the engineers are also taking advantage of this. So we're making everybody happy with this, and we're making money. Both ends of the spectrum are just so, so good. And if you want to check your total island average at the moment, for us, it's plus 14. So hopefully we will see these guys actually cut down on all of their angry ranting with, going out in the streets and burning my, city to the ground. The only thing that they're going to hate at the moment is the news. But to be perfectly honest with you, if you're providing the luxury resources, the happiness requirements that they need, you should be fine. And as you saw before, we were making a deficit, right? So now we're actually making a positive. And let me show you the newspaper. We're not actually, this is the most recent one, we're not showing anything over here with the propaganda usage of money in bonus income. This is flat income that you're receiving from them right now. And that is what you want to see. Ultimately, focusing on the happiness requirements of your people, the engineers, the investors specifically, is going to be crucial going forward. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about lifestyle needs. And lifestyle needs comes from the New World items. New World Rising, I believe it came out with that DLC. I'm not sure. I will look it up and be 100% clear on it going into the next episode. But they really also do help with population sizes and money, because those are also things we want to focus on, right? It will not increase their happiness, even though some of them say, oh yeah, this is luxuries because I'm so popular, I'm so rich. But they will definitely help out in other means. And we will begin to touch on the mail system, because the mail system is going to be pretty important, honestly, if you do have that DLC. But until next time, my friends, thank you so much. Please consider checking out the DLC and the cosmetic pack tier list. I'll put the link for it right now. And until next episode, my friends, please consider like, commenting, subscribing, hitting that bell button, sharing it with your friends. And I'll catch you on the next episode, my Rantians.